Welcome back. I was looking around at Skull Rock some more, and I just thought I'd hit record because this place is incredible, and I didn't really finish, if you will. There's definitely more I can go through, so I certainly didn't take the time to find good images in here already. This is better. It's a little more lit. We can kind of see some stuff going on. Still, this gives us an angle to just kind of see this pointed side here. The last video I was talking about a current going around and through this way and out over here, creating an ammonite structure here where it's spiraling, like looking down on the ground counterclockwise, looking downward counterclockwise, spinning out this way across, running into the resistance of a wall that was here that it broke. But then before it broke, it probably causing it to flow across this way through here and creating this ammonite structure. And just etching out like a cavity in the rock from all the inflowing currents that then created a chamber where the flow wasn't just like hanging out. It was physically caused to move and to push on like the boundary of the system and just etch pathways out for the pressure, which then it creates like a collective motion in a spiral, which then leads to certain points where the pressure outflow like drills openings through to allow for channels for the pressure to be released. But like it's because the pressure is still pushing in. As this structure is forming, the currents are pushing in from all sides, probably swirling, probably also coming from a directional way. Let's go back. Also, this is exciting. Good to see that this has been released. Randall Carlson published on Twitter yesterday about it. So, and I checked out like 3 minutes of the first one. It's curious to see what he has to say. Okay. But what was I doing? What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna look at maps. Out. It's right there, but without closing the thing. This looks like the ammonite, the opening. Ammonite opening. Which means this is this side. Wow. So it looks like, I'm just noticing right from here, if we follow this way, like it has a protruding, like a sharpness. Like there's kind of some kind of mound here that was behaved as a resistance, and then generally this way, that just held it in like the current flowing out, also drained out, but like because it was a narrow channel, it built up pressure and it physically drained out and up and created a spiral above it that then solidified, but it also continued across it, which is standard for shallograms, ammonites. Like if we look at the under Australia itself, so this is probably this rock, the skull rock, is probably very much like this rock is to Skull Rock. Like this is like Skull Rock is to Australia. As some like system on the side, because Australia itself has an ammonite over here. So it's not like exactly there, but it's certainly in its proximity, this huge ammonite that even goes over like this way and up this way in the structure. So it's pretty proximal. Maybe it's generally connected to it at the boundary of like its matrix or whatever over here. So maybe it behaves similarly, where it's like a side current where the currents were flowing. I mean, this is definitely a current flowing from this way under Antarctica across through here. So it's going up this way, running into resistance here. Was it? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Because I've kind of wondered where this current goes. Maybe it just like went this way and this way and just separated here and flowed out this way and under this way. It's probably both, honestly. Like the nearby currents that are interacting. But maybe there's something to it coming out this way more than I realize, because I feel like that would make more sense for this. Or maybe it's possible that the above current, the water is flowing this way, but the below current, below, just in that same way, below the crust is flowing this way, above the crust is flowing the opposite way. So it basically created a water flow. Like this whole thing's shaped by water, so it doesn't really necessarily need the same nuances. Like it just needed to exist and then for the water flow to shape it. Whereas over here is more like underbelly shaping of the overall structure. Like the Himalayas are shaped largely by these currents. Everything in the world is largely shaped by these currents, but like this shows that these currents played a role in like moving things, but they didn't necessarily have the final say in how it looked. Like the above surface water currents shaped this significantly after it was placed where it would be, and probably while it was being placed. But like, anyway, okay, let's move on to this picture. This is real interesting, just the way the waves go between it. And I don't know what to think about it, but you can kind of see inside there some lines going down, similar to these. Crack. Video. I assume that's somewhere at Skull Rock. That's interesting. There's that ammonite. I was also noticing in that one picture, it looked kind of like an ammonite, a small one, like on the side here, looking more down though. I wonder if I'll see it again. I really like how at the top of these, there's these little things. It really is an ammonite. be where that picture was. Wow. That was big. Biggins. So that means the current was like way high to be even having the flow puncturing. I mean, maybe it even shows the current retreating. And like the angle was over here as it retreated, but then it became more focused from a different angle. Like it's not doing these things down here. That's a little odd that it moves sideways like that. Strongly suggestive as the Earth expanded, the direction of current focus actually changed. And that's maybe Skull Rock Geology, Australia. Granite, let's check it out, some information. I realized I didn't really like look into it. It's this one. It's called a cleft island. Small, rugged granite island. Answer group of islands the southwest of Wilson's promontory. The island is within the park. Part of the Wilson, blah, 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 partially hollowed out by ancient waves, creating a cave 130 meters wide and 60 meters tall. Only 9 people have ventured, if this is true, into the cavern, finding old cannonballs left by passing ships practicing their aim. So people shot into there with cannonballs, possibly damaged some of it. I don't think they materially shaped it. Like it was shaped like this and people just shot cannonballs in. I mean, I guess it's possible that they hit a piece and like broke it off and it fell in and it's just kind of broken off. Which is, of course, how shallograms are formed, by miniature us's shooting the island of the shallogram and breaking the piece with our miniature cannonballs. So there's probably miniature cannonballs lodged and left behind in shallograms. No. Never know if there's some fractal thing like that. That would be cool. Let's see what we can find. Like this here. This is more what I'm looking for. No apparent chakra system to be seen. I mean, it's possible it's like literally in the matrix still. The true chakra point. I wonder if there's a... That looks like a good one. Depending on if we can zoom in. Oh, it's a video. Maybe? Oh, it's a web. Just trying to view it. Not cool. That's cool. What a cool boat. I've never seen a boat like that. Ready to go on the beach. According to this, this is from the island. Where is this from? This can't be from the island. There's a person there. This can't be from the island. That's not the island. Angle up this way is interesting. Across the ammonite, like it's going out this way, but it's also going across and then up and like ramping this wall maybe. Calls to cut across and up, creating a cross current, at least one, that maybe the collective of them all participate in producing a spiraling effect, coupled with the physical shape of the terrain that's being shaped. I would really like to find Scholar Cleft Island Geology. Skull Rock. Skill, baby. Ain't no one concerned very much with this. There's something. Core stone, weathering. Cavernous feature on the northern side of this island is the northern side, so on the side facing Australia. Protected by Australia from like inflowing currents, relatively speaking. But then like the currents flowing from the other side, maybe getting into the rock and having like being focused basically to the far boundary, where they then swirl at the far boundary. Like there's a big rock, they come in one side, like generally one side, but they got all this space to go through, so they just go through. But then they hit a boundary of like the rind of this big system, and so it starts to puddle there, and then it starts to swirl there and make ways out, and it physically take material with it out and bring the material out, allowing for more space for the inflowing pressure to flow, which then just continues the process on the opposite side, closer to Australia, where it's protected from the waves. Possibly important. Okay, let's see if we can find any text on this. The large cavern on the northern side of Cleft Island, also known as Skull Rock because of the skull-like appearance of the domical granite exposure and its caverns. Is an enlarged taffin. Typhoon? What a typhoon. Whoa. Enlarged. Whoa. They literally call it fractal this. I don't know, I feel like this is wind based. I guess it might be water based also. They include marine wind. Yeah, I would just say this is straight wind. etching after the fact, but the heavy winds that were like etching through, drying the material and just solidifying it, but etched in a fundamentally different way. Not fundamentally, because it's all the same, it's all caused by currents, but like in terms of the actual outcome, like wind versus water, materially different outcome. And I would say Skull Rock is far more of the water based. I don't see anything that I would be like, yeah, that's like the wind. Like they can say this is like that, but it like that happens in shallograms without any need for some other current flow. It's just all water based, I would say. And even the fact that it has these features like draining down through here, it's just water based. This cavern is approximately 50 meters high, almost 100 meters wide. Disintegrated granite debris and wind-blown sand cover the cavern floor and have accumulated to form a dune at the entrance. So the swirling brought sand generally to build up at this side at the entrance. Sort of like how a shallogram will cause, like, maybe I scrolled to like the word. This one's got like a puddle of it. That one that just had like this shape. I forgot what I was looking for. Oh yeah, sand. Sand is probably like the gold coloration in the shallogram, some kind of material that is very much like what's going on with the sand out of this flow. The outer surface of the granite on the island is indurated by a red-brown colored material. Thin section and X-ray diffraction examinations of samples taken from, let me zoom in, taken from similar exposures at Wilson Promontory found this red-brown staining to be a surface coating consisting of a mixture of iron oxides, hydroxides, and goethite, mostly derived from the weathering of iron-rich, like the nucleus maybe, silicate minerals such as biotite. The development of Cleft Island Cavern began along a sub-horizontal joint approximately 15 meters above sea level. That breached the indurated veneer of the granite, exposing it to moisture attack and salt-laden coastal winds. Granular disintegration of the non-indurated interior of the granite has progressed upwards from this joint. Earlier explanations for the development of this cavern require sea level to have been 15 meters higher than present, or for there to have been localized tectonic uplift of approximately 15 meters. Have not recognized Spurgeon have not recognized the significance of the subhorizontal joint in accounting for the elevation of the cavern's subhorizontal floor. I guess the joint they're referring to is this one, maybe? Something to do with these. That's my guess, is the ones that directly connect to the cavern in an obvious way. Here, I mean, that goes down to the water pretty much. I'm not sure where. Maybe this one. Or I'm just not. It's unclear what exactly they're referring to. Taphoni also occur, so these ones also occur. I mean, I guess if it can also be marine abrasion. Particularly in the north. It's almost like there was a wind boundary, like outflow from the continent that collided. Also, like outflow of wind, inflow from the water pressure. Like a bunch of water pressure, and as a result, the wind pressure counter to it also was higher. Based on, if I just like allow their interpretation to be just taken as unscrutinized, I guess, like, okay, there's wind erosion, instead of like completely water based, like allow for wind roll to it. Mentally, maybe it's like some balance point where the wind and the water interacted. Especially balance point, I don't know. That maybe even participated in bringing about this system to emerge. I was hoping I could find actual geological dating. Here we go. Late Devonian. Granite landforms that are part of the landscape. Rounded and irregularly shaped tors, cavernous hollows in fresh granite, cave systems, and fluted surface channels are some of the individual landforms that are features of the area. Okay, Wilson's Promontory, the most southerly point of the Australian mainland. Most southerly point, almost like a chakra, consists of granite bedrock flanked by late Cenozoic sediments. Cenozoic, so recent sediments. Weathering of the granites since their emplacement in the late Devonian led to the development of deep weathering profiles by the Mesozoic. So during the Devonian, I think I said late Devonian. Let's check. Late Devonian is when an extinction occurred. So emplaced around 360 million years. And then weathered by the end of the Mesozoic. So, like, as the pressure, 66 million years is when the rapid expansion of the Earth began, which is like a supernova of a star. The pressure is building, supernova. 66 million years. The pressure building, shaping places like Skull Rock. Pressure building, currents digging into Skull Rock. 66 million years pressure release. So then it drains, and it's really not under the same pressures anymore afterwards. So that kind of makes sense, generally speaking, that the development of deep weathering profiles by the Mesozoic, although by the Mesozoic would mean by 252. So maybe not quite the same. Let's see. If there's any mention of the Cretaceous. My guess is like the upward developments happen maybe in that time frame. And maybe it released pressure still and caused like some of the cracks in the later time, or maybe it's not so globally pressure released at 66 million that everywhere would have the same thing. Like there may be places that are experiencing pressure and then they like builds pressure, and then some other place like is experiencing pressure because it has like a backstop by new material. It's basically shifting where time is experiencing the most pressure, at what time, which places are experiencing the most pressure, not making it crescendo around 66 million globally, although I would say it definitely does to a degree. Let's see if we can find any Cretaceous mentioning. No. Maybe I should search for Wilson's Promontory. Supplemental papers. I don't know. Suggests it is composed of Sealer's Cove cordierite Monzo granite. Let's see, Cretaceous. As presented in the main text of the paper, so I guess this is a supplement. This to this paper. Yeah. Research gates. Request full text. Send. Thanks, guys. What's up here? Oh. Thanks, Melanie. Come on, where could it be? Where could it be? Maybe? Maybe. Select an action. Print, email. View content. Username. PDF, ooh, maybe. Oh, snap, crackle, that's this one. Doesn't have the abstract. Oh, guess that won't be happening. Oh my god. Where's that search? There it is. Genesis of the batholith. Let's see. I don't see the word Cretaceous. Consists of 4 penitent Australian. The batholith. Let's go back to the beginning of the sentence. I know I skipped another sentence entirely, but that's okay. The batholith forms the southern tip of the Australian mainland and consists of 4 contemporaneous plutons and placed at shallow crustal depth, intruding Ordovician to lower Devonian, lower green schist facies, quartz-rich metaphylish rocks in the Bayesian tectonic zone. I don't know if that's what a Bayesian. I feel like that's different. Bayesian. Bayesian is like physics, so they wouldn't like me saying that. Maybe. How dare you? Generated part of the partial melting of gray whack dominated magmas were initially H2O undersaturated, i.e. they had no water really, having been generated by partial melting of 1.6 million years basement rocks. However, the specific source rocks differ from those of the S-type granitic plutons in the neighboring Melbourne tectonic zone. Melbourne. This probably reflects compositional variations within the Selwyn block, which has been proposed to form the basement terrain beneath both the Melbourne and Bayesian zones. Okay. I don't know. A mere $58. Or I guess I could have purchased the entire issue for a mere $452. 30 days online access. Wow. For 30 days? I thought it was for a day I would get access for $452, but apparently 30 whole days. What a steal. What in the... It's so nonsense. The only way they get away with that is because they get like big institutes paying certain prices and then just like force it into being. Like, what are we doing? 450. You might as well say no one gets access to this if they don't belong to a certain club. It's literally nonsense. Skull Rock and Joshua Tree. It's mostly going to Joshua Tree now. Some other place that's definitely not here. There's that peanut shape again. No, it's Joshua Tree though. Okay, before I go on forever, I did see maybe another video somewhere where they seem to have a better view. This one. This one. Let's check out this one first. Okay, pardon me, sir. I now having a cool time. Let's get to Skull Rock. Maybe see what he's pointing at. Points at something up here. Oh yeah, I don't think this is in English.
नहीं ईगल का नेस्ट है वो ये वाला और ये
No subtitles
ईगल के
possible.
नेस्ट पे हम लोग को रोके दिखाए बोल रहे थे कि भाई ऊपर देखते रहो स्पॉट करते रहो इफ़ यू कैन फाइंड इट इट्स बेटर क्योंकि बहुत लार्ज बर्ड है वो उसका 7.2 फीट से भी लंबी है वो मतलब मेरी हाइट से भी ज़्यादा ये जो आप लोग देख रहे हैं ये
Some English, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get to the island. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. I feel bad to use people's content without it saying thanks. Kind of. It's still weird. I'm weird. It's okay. Okay, let's get to here.
प्रोमोटरी क्रूजेस के मेन पिक्चर यही है कि वे आपको स्कल रॉक आइलैंड पे लाते हैं ये स्कल रॉक आइलैंड पे
Can really see in there. Not much structure. A little surprising how much it lacks structure there. Like it just looks kind of like a wall where it has all these features in it. It's a little surprising that these features are there. And this, but then like almost nothing that I can immediately be like, wow. Although maybe it's got like a subtle shape here that has a chakra, possibly. Maybe there's a chakra here in the stone. And like this is kind of like the upper shell material, and then an inner material, and then maybe has another chakra down here, and this darker material. That's the best I got. Let's keep looking to see if there's any. It even has a little slit there that, like, if the chakra was more out, that it like broke off. Maybe it would have an actual flow channel down to the chakra point that's visible in a weird way.
इसका एलिवेशन बहुत ही मुश्किल था अभी थोड़ा ठीक है तो थोड़े लोग उस पर चढ़े
Like it does kind of look like a chakra here. Now what I'm noticing with flows across, especially here, down this way, like down from here, down through this region, which is kind of how a chakra would probably do, where like over here it's flowing this way and at an angle, although this is kind of a similar angle. Here to here. Also, I'm not sure that this is an opening. It does look like it is an opening, though. It's probably an opening. Incredible. You can kind of see like a ammonite type of cross section, like a peanut shape that I was pointing to, but in this case with more subtlety of the shape itself. Like the chamber. Chamber shape. Okay, that's pretty much it from this video. That's there. I'll just open a new tab so I can remember which videos to check in to reference. Oh my god. Okay, it seems to be. I'm just gonna quickly scroll through and just see if any of these videos have really good angles. Bunch of shorts on it. Okay, let's see. That's the one that I watched. This one's short. Let's just see. Looking up into it. Up into it, okay. Oh. Maybe like a conduit channel there that's in inflow, like a siphuncal aspect to the ammonite. I don't know. Okay, let's check out this one. Whoa, they're just driving out on them wheels, baby. That's so cool. What a cool boat design. And we're in the waves. There's the tire. That must just be their tour boats that they used to go out here. Holy crap, the freaking water on the boundary. It's going up pretty. However much my mouse height is right there, it's going up like that much. From what I understand, it's pretty impossible to get into here if you don't know how to climb safely. Like, really. Only 9 people have been in it, according to Wikipedia. Whether or not that's true, I mean, it seems like it's just a pain to get to, so it's highly possible. People don't know about it, and so it's. I've never heard of it, that's for sure. There's probably more locals, generally more Australians than international travelers, maybe, compared to other places like the Great Barrier Reef. The pup's like, what's that? What's that? there's a current coming through here. It looks like it separates, like it widens a little bit, comes back together. It's kind of like almost starting to separate, but then it comes back together, separates some more, really separates here, and then it looks like it runs into a cross current here. So there's a current going this way and a current going this way, which then produces a circular structure with a ring structure because of the crossing of the currents, which creates like a little ammonite type thing. More circular here, but cross current, and as it runs into the resistance, this current going this way, la 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 la, it's going through with about the same resistance throughout, but then it runs into this cross current location where it just ends up having to separate more, presumably, above and below the overall circle, which then creates widening and allows for those short circuit type things to happen. And then it continues over here a bit, but because of the structure, it vents a lot, probably. I think that might be all. Okay, that's all from this one. It's like a seal. Ugh. Well, cool. They're all little pairs, mostly. Nothing different popping out there. This looks connected here to here. This makes me think of cross currents that happen in places like Damodar Coon's structure. This place, where is it? Where there's this cross current across the structure. Also, these definitely reminiscent of this location. But they just make me think of cross currents by their location. I don't know. Maybe those two as well, occurring on both sides of the chakra center. That maybe like take turns in terms of which one behaves in which way as the rock shapes itself and opens up space. It like continually does so in a manner that it vibrates. Like that side starts to, this side could start to etch more like this and become more like where this side is the backstop and this side is the one getting etched more so as it like gets bigger and just like a piston or something. I don't know why like a piston, but like just changing sides. Oh no, I closed it. I'll find it. Let's check out this one. Ooh. This dude takes a jet ski out. Oh, it's probably not the same place. Oh shit, he do take a jet ski out there. Cool. That's pretty daring. I would be pretty afraid to be out in this water in jet skis. Holy shit, that looks frightening. I've never been on a jet ski. I don't know how stable they are. This looks a little tumultuous. I love how the seals just kind of slide. Probably freaking scrape their stomach and things on the rock. Like, oh, I guess that hurt. Needs to be wet. Okay, not much of, like, oh, there's another jet ski. Oh my god. It honestly looks pretty tumultuous, the water, like, up adjacent to it. Just they're just in these ripples. Oh whoa. Okay, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out. Again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay, peace.